sure to remain quiet for the speakers. Wow, they're doing a really good job. I guess we have those people, but they are in fact respectable, so we need to respect them. Meet someone new, talk to a stranger, challenge their ideas and not them as a person. Fill the forms is the pizza order. Be sure to submit. Get social with us. We're on Discord mostly. There's way too many channels, but there's a channel for everything, so be sure to check it out. I still have not made a Mastodon account. If anyone is actually on that, can you come explain to me why or what's going on there? Because I definitely don't have enough information on it.
Because it's not Twitter.
Because it's not Twitter. I like to be brainwashed by Elon Musk every day. Swag's online. Be sure to buy it and get involved. Please, for the love of God, if you're interested in volunteering, please come talk to me and we can arrange for you to help out with SecKC. If you think SecKC could use improvement in any fashion, please come tell me, and also please volunteer to help us with it. If you want to do ham radio testing, it's happening right frickin' now. They might be able to fit you in. I don't know if it's full or not. It's been like every frickin' month so far, so if you want to do it next month, be sure to sign up. And some bonus information here. Wild West Hacking Fest is starting tomorrow, I think. Training today, John Con, and then Philly. I have a lot of distant ones on here, but the most important one I think for you guys is OzSec, which is Witch Dog's B-Sides equivalent. They're on the 18th and the 19th, like a Friday, Saturday. It sounds like this year is going to be even better than last year. Wichita's like a 2.5-hour drive. It's actually pretty cool nowadays. As someone from Wichita, Wichita is way better now than it was like 10 years ago. So go check it out, have fun. So this is where we're at right now, 101, I'm zuul. Posted news is going to be netcode. We'll talk about the mentorship program, an actual talk, we'll do another open mic thing, and then we'll also listen to this wacky ass playlist that I'm playing. So, thank you.
that one coming. This is why we should put backdoors in everything. It's a great idea, I promise. Avanti needs to, they need to fucking stop. Jesus fucking Christ. They had, I don't even know how many path traversal, directory traversal vulnerabilities in one goddamn month. So I've included memes making fun of them for the rest of the slides. There was a Cubs ball, like it was Evil Socket, and you know I would argue it was overhyped a little, but it is a very fascinating exploit. Very cool. And then there was a little interesting Linux rootkit that was unveiled that's been running I think since 2029 or 2021 I think. That was kind of interesting. Anyway, thanks for listening. Sorry about the short one.
tell you about the mentorship. And SecKC.org, head to our website. You'll find the mentoring page there. We've got 2 options. You can be a mentor, or you can be a mentee. There are 10 people right now that are signed up to be mentors. When you pick if you want to be a mentor or a mentee, it opens up the Google form. Fill it out. If you are seeking a mentor, put what you're looking that mentor to be. Leadership, networking, cybersecurity, anything like that, fill out the form. If you have not been a mentor before, but you like working with people and you want to engage, this is a perfect opportunity to help the community. There are tons of people wanting to learn, and the knowledge in this room should be passed down. So we've got both sides. We've got people that want to teach and people that want to learn. They might be new or they might be old like me. I now do schedules for a living, so I need some help when it comes to anything technical. 10, 15 minutes ago, because I had never touched a Mac in my life, I was over by Maddie's laptop, and I had to ask someone, like, how do you lock a Mac? Because it's a security place, and you just leave a laptop open, you're kind of asking for it. Someone will troll you. I hope someone will troll you. Right? So we have partnered with Enterprise KC to provide some of the mentorship. All right. Each Bob or Alice has a little bit of a background, how they prefer to communicate. I like verbal communication. Might not be great at it, but I like it. Some mentors just want to do Discord, some like face-to-face. You can find someone to mentor, or if you're a mentor and you want to have a mentee, but you only like Zoom calls, which someone's going to be talking about Zoom Doom in just a few minutes, you'll find something that matches your communication style. It's pretty easy to fill out the Google form. 2 giant red boxes. It can't be any simpler. Go ahead and just click on one of them, and man, that's bright. Can it get any simpler than this? Name, email address, check boxes. Come on, a help desk manager could fill this out. So, we've got 10. I would love to see more mentors pass down information. And I know this room is filled with entry-level people that want to learn. It's a perfect time to sign up. Take someone under your wing or spread your wings and fly. Sorry, it's my cheesy communication style. I apologize. Anyone have questions on this?
Where do you go to get this?
So, SecKC.org, and then in the top right corner,
Get involved.
Oh, get involved.
Yep.
So go to SecKC.org, and then under the Get Involved menu, go to
Mentorship Program. Also, volunteer sponsors. If you want to sponsor, please find me. That's what I try to do. I need sponsors so we can keep this going. Spencer, right?
Yeah.
So Spencer, SecKC.org, get involved, mentorship program. Any other questions?
When will we be matched with the mentor?
with the director over that.
So the question was, when will we be matched up with the mentor or mentee? And please check with us after the talk here.
So I will get with them. They couldn't make it tonight. And I'll meet with you in just a minute. Have we mentioned the giant bag of candy?
No.
There's a giant bag of candy, and if you guys don't eat any of it, then I have to. It's my excuse. It's October, it's candy month. All right, I'm going to turn this back over to Mad Beatz.
Okay. Thank you.
Commence with the Mad Beatz. complete piece of shit. Do not buy it. It's $20 on Amazon as a white label product, and they sell them under so many different brand names. But anyway, in this vlog, we're gonna tear it apart, find out if there's anything interesting in it, find out if they use the same firmware on all of their cameras, cry for a bit, and then answer any questions you guys might have. So I assume most of you know what firmware is, but for the people who don't, it's basically the lowest, it's a very low level operating system, essentially. It's what allows everything else to run. It gets everything started. And in many cases, there is security problems with it because people are lazy fucks and embed credentials. That's quite common. And just embedding, troubleshooting things or testing stuff, and then they never remove it. This is very common. So how are we going to get the firmware? So there's a couple different ways. Most of them pretty easy. There's a lot of unsecured S3 buckets all over the internet. I recommend this one. This is what I typically use to find firmware. It's just all over the place. And you can just download it because they're very nice and give it to you for free. Manufacturer websites are great for this. Some of them are encrypted. Those are the dickheads. The rest, pretty easy to get. There are some helpful people who just upload firmware dumps to the internet because they're very, very nice. GitHub, great place for this. Also on GitHub, you can sometimes find just open source firmware. You can also use Google Dorking to make better use of the above methods. And then what I'm going to talk about in this one is firmware extraction, where you're taking the firmware off the device that you have physical access to explore from there. So to extract the firmware, some common methods. So you can dump the contents of the flash memory, or the memory that's on board, or you can use something like UART or JTAG. Those are Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter and Joint Test Action Group. I don't know what the JTAG, I don't know why that's the acronym, but they do very similar things. They are essentially a direct access to the lowest level of the machine, or the typically SoC, or System on Chip. So in this particular case, first you got to look at the hardware. First you have to take the device apart, but I didn't take any pictures of that, so I'm sorry. Once you have the device apart, you have the board, then you can start looking. Something that's pretty obvious normally is the SoC, or System on Chip. It's the main chipset, if you will. In this case, it's an all-winner V837S. This is, anyway, it's an interesting chip. It's not the newest, but I think it came out 2021. I think it came out this decade. And then more interestingly, I can't use words, for us here, is the XMC. XMC makes a shitload of flash. In this case, that's SPI flash. Better picture there. So, looking at the flash, that's the interesting one. We have the exact model number, very helpful. I guess that's not a great picture, but very helpful model number there. And you can just search that and find out more information. For instance, the package, in this case, SOP8. This is a really common one. It's going to be eight legs, basically, surface mount. So it just sits on top of the PCB with 8 legs. And also, keep in mind the voltage is 3 volts. This is what this particular one is rated for. They range from 1.8 typically up to around 5. Shut the fuck up. So here's the SoC all-winner V837S. This is what they say about it on their site. It isn't that interesting, but basically they're sucking their own dick and saying we made a great single-core ARM chip with a RISC chip in it because we're just really cool. It's our RISC core because we're really cool. Anyway, it's designed for security cameras. The entire purpose of this SoC is security cameras. It does Ethernet and is basically, I don't know, it does a bunch of little things that are all designed to make security cameras, or just cameras, easier. So, looking at the hardware for the other interesting things, we can find JTAG or UART. In this case, UART's interesting. With UART, you can have 3 or 4 pins. You can have, so the ones that are required are ground, transmit, or RX, that's receive. Ground, receive, RX, and transmit, TX. Sometimes they make it a little weird, but in this case you can see GND, RxD1, and TXD1. The T is a little hard to see. So this one's using UART. Sometimes people very helpfully just leave the headers on, especially on routers. They're really dumb about this. This I stole from Riverloop Security because I had a good picture of it. So once you have found the UART ports, well, now you can actually connect to it. So in this case, I'm using a little FT323 UART USB-C board because I like that one. It's very handy. And this allows you to get essentially a direct shell to the lowest level of the device. In this case, the two common ones, or two common bootloaders you'll find are .zuboot or uboot and RT-thread. I haven't really found RT-thread anywhere before, but that's what's on this one. Uboot is really common on routers, like extremely common. Highly recommend messing around with it. It's very fun. But the important thing to note with these is that, or most bootloaders, but especially these, they're not a regular Linux shell or Unix shell. They allow you to do very specific things because the point of a bootloader is to launch the operating system. It grabs the operating system from storage and starts it. And because of this, you can just say, hey, grab the entire operating system and just send it over the line to me. And then you just hold on to it. It's a very handy way to get unencrypted firmware because if it's encrypted at rest, that's a pain in the ass. But it obviously can't be encrypted while in use, so it has to decrypt it and then you can pull it. So for flash interfaces, because UART on this one was being a pain, so I went with flash instead, because flash dumping's more fun. So there's some common flash interfaces, right? There's SPI, or serial peripheral interface, I2C, or I2C, which is inter-integrated circuit, I thought that name was weird, and then eMMC. That one's a little more interesting, but it's essentially an SD card, or the chip inside an SD card. SPI is pretty cheap. I2C is stupid cheap. So if you find I2C on something, it means they don't care about you. SPI is a bit better. eMMC is arguably one of the best. Interesting. I still can't use words. All of these support NOR and NAND flash, but that isn't really relevant. I just thought it was interesting. Oh, and to dump SPI flash, if you wish to do so, as long as you have the wires correct, you just say, hey, you send it the signal, hey, give me all your data, give me everything you got. And it's like, sure, I got you, bro. It gives you everything. It's really, really helpful and very polite. So, because I don't want to solder or desolder this little tiny chip that is relatively temperature sensitive and a pain in the dick to deal with, I'm going to use a clip. In this case, an SOP8 or SOIC8 clip. They're the fucking same. Don't worry about it. The package is like technically ever so slightly different. They're not quite interchangeable, but close enough. And so I use that clip and a little adapter with this, the CH341A programmer. It's a SPI flash programmer, SPI flash programmer. And in this case, you can use it to super easily dump the ROM or dump the firmware from this. Take note, the black PCB model that you can get on Amazon for $10, many of them have a design flaw where they will always output 5 volts, even when set to 3.3. This can kill flash. I have not killed flash with it yet, but I offer no guarantees. You can also buy a handy little 5 to 1.8 volt converter. I do recommend getting that. So, now that you have this flash and you clipped it on, do note that the little tiny dimple on the IC, or the little dimple on the chip, basically tells you which way is forward. It tells you 1. This is the first pin. You count from here. So now you want to actually dump it. I use FlashROM. It's a very handy tool on Linux. I have no idea what the Windows or OS X support is because I don't use those for this type of stuff. But it's amazing on Linux. It's in most repositories. It's even in the APT repository. Great, very easy to use. So to actually dump the flash, you have to clip it on. You have to make sure that typically a red wire on the one red wire, and the rest are going to be gray. On the clip, make sure that is on 1. That is important. You do not want to kill your flash, and this can very easily kill it. Then, basically, you just run flash ROM with what you want the output to be, and tell it what the programmer is. I mean, I include verbose because I like seeing all the funny lines as it scrolls, but that is completely optional. And then it will essentially just probe for any kind of SPI flash it knows what it to look for. Like that's the wrong words. It'll probe the flash for any signals that it recognizes. It'll just constantly send the request for data for every single type of flash or from every manufacturer as a massive list. And then if it gets a hit, it'll just start absorbing it. So this is the output from that. And a very, very, very long list of comparing IDs. I skipped that. And then at the end you can see it succeeded in reading it and just dumped it into blob.bin. So now we have blob.bin, the complete dump of all of the SPI flash in this chip. So now we need to start parsing it, figure out what's going on with it. So first off, there's a couple of different file systems. There's SquashFS, JFFS2, and UPIFS. Those are the three big ones. Usually I see SquashFS and JFFS2. Important to note, SquashFS is a read-only file system. JFFS2 is not. So typically, you can immediately figure out what's going to be in there based on the file system type. To reconstruct the file system right now, we know what file systems there could be. If you want to just go for it, I highly recommend using binwalk. Because binwalk, lowercase e, capital M, will recursively go through the entire file, looking for every single magic byte it can find, or every header it recognizes, to extract the files and put it into a nice file system for you on your drive. It's very, very helpful if you don't want to manually go through with XXD or something like that. Also, if you are looking through this and binwalk's not finding a lot, or it's finding a bunch of really weird stuff, because it's looking for magic bytes, and if it's encrypted, there's a good chance you'll find really weird bytes that just don't match what you would expect to see. You can use something like binviz. This is binviz.io. Very, very helpful. It allows you to just upload a binary file or flash or whatever you want, and then it'll analyze it and give you a kind of output here of what is or is not kind of interesting. Like the white is all empty, so that's kind of relevant. The X has been, or the black has been set to 0 as opposed to FF, I'm not really sure why. But then you can see there's stuff like, oh, there's ASCII, there's some stuff with high entropy. You know what, like, oh, maybe this is encrypted, maybe this isn't encrypted, now you can actually kind of tell. So now you actually want to reconstruct it. You've gone and used binwalk all the way through it. You can use unsquashfs, great name, to unsquash SquashFS file systems. It'll extract it and put it on your, put it in a nice little folder for you. For JFFS2, you can use a tool called Jefferson. Very helpful. Does essentially the same thing, but for JFFS2. So now this is what unsquashfs looks like. It's pretty simple, and it just gives you a little folder. Jefferson does essentially exactly the same thing. The output's a tiny bit different, and that is about it. So the first thing that I do once I have these folders now is I'm going to look for anything non-standard. So the first thing I'm going to do really is check to see if it's using BusyBox, which it typically is. Because BusyBox is really, really, really common on embedded Unix systems. So once I have determined if it's using BusyBox or not, the next thing I'm doing is finding every single executable or configuration file that is not a link to BusyBox. Every single executable that's not linked directly to BusyBox, of which there are a couple. But BusyBox is essentially the Swiss Army knife of embedded systems. Embedded Linux. It is a giant. It's not giant. It's a binary that has a ton of stripped-down GNU tools or utilities packaged nicely together. So you can link, let's say you want ls, and you don't want to manually put ls in your bin directory. You can just drop BusyBox on the system and make your own link called ls, and then link it to BusyBox, and it's fine. It'll act just like normal. And it has most of the same options, just not everything. So, find stupid flaws, right? Now that you know what is and is not default, you can start looking through them. In this case, if you look at the sudo init script on this particular firmware here, you can see it just starts telnet at the end. So, I hope that's not a problem at all. So then, now that I know that it's launching Telnet, presumably there's a user for that. So I'm going to start looking through that, looking through the files to see if I can find a user. Etsy Shadow, config files. I just have regex that I use to find usernames or hashes, because that works very well. And then also just stringing custom applications. Like in this case, there's one called CI apps. That's not normal. It's not linked to anything. Presumably that's custom. So I run strings on it, pipe it into less, and find anything interesting like hard-coded credentials. In this case, here you go. You don't actually have to crack those. I did. I cracked both of them in 15 minutes, or 15 minutes each. Yeah, they're both, I believe they're both searchable. They're both less than 8 characters as well. Yay! So next, I'm going to start looking for UIs or IPs and stuff like that. Just interesting endpoints and interesting servers, because presumably it's calling home somewhere. I can access it with an app. So again, running strings using regex, grep or ripgrep, whatever you prefer, to try and find stuff. In this case, I have a script I wrote that does this for me. And obviously there's a bunch of not really important IPs, like a lot of local IPs. Those aren't helpful. But then there's a couple that are a little bit more interesting. So, now I want to look at it. And to glance at these funny little endpoints, I mean, you can use Shodan, Nmap, curl, or I would just visit the place, see what it's got. Maybe it's inviting, maybe it's not. Some of those in the previous slide, actually, no, here you go. Some of them have a few fucking problems. You might think, that's a little weird. It is. So that apptacpush.kment or kment.cn, if you just go, also, all of this is output from Enrich. It's a tool that Shodan makes, very easy way to just check IPs against Shodan's database. I would also suggest double checking, because they don't catch everything and stuff changes. But if you go to kment.cn, this is what it gives you. I don't know what an ICP filing according to the law of Ministry of Industry and Information Technology of the People's Republic of China is. I'm just really glad I don't have to deal with that, because that looks like somebody didn't do their job. Also, a couple of these are just portal, like login, admin portals, and restrict password blank and password types. So I suspect they are not doing a great job with those. Also, side quest here. If anyone here does API hacking, I would love to talk to you after this. For no reason. So, now if you don't want to put in effort, you're just not really feeling it, you don't want to do manual analysis, that's kind of weird, you need something like firmware analysis and comparison tool. It's essentially a web server that you run that allows you to do a lot of this without putting in any effort. So now we're going to pray. Please pray with me.
Merciful demo gods, please help him through this task.
Oh, that's wrong. I guess it is a silent prayer. So here is the firmware analysis and comparison tool. And in this case, we can look at the doorbell camera. And when you look at that, it just tells you the root password. I already threw this one through the analyzer. Yeah, funny little root password there, kind of weird. Also, that version of BusyBox that this is running is a couple years out of date. Unfortunate. There's a couple of flaws with it, of varying degrees of severity. So I wouldn't recommend buying these cameras. And then, funny little other thing. So I mentioned that, maybe these may or may not be all using the same firmware, right? Well, here's a light bulb camera from it. And weirdly enough, it has exactly the same root password. It also runs Telnet. It also has a couple other issues with it. It's very fun. So, now if you want to continue and find more great resources, I highly recommend Matt Brown and Low Level Learning. They're both very, very, very good. And then does anyone have any questions? I thought this would take a bit longer than it did. Does anyone have any questions?
Go back one slide, please. times speed.
Your speed. Do you have this deck anywhere?
So, the slides?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put them on Discord afterwards.
Okay, sweet. Thank you.
I will put the slides on Discord afterwards, just because I'm super nice. So does anyone have any other questions? Any questions at all? Is that because I did a great job or a terrible job? I'm sorry.
Should I put my light bulb on the internet?
Yes, that is the question was, should I put my light bulb on the internet? The answer to that question is always yes. There's never been any problems ever with putting IoT devices directly on the internet. It's a wonderful idea.
According to the NSX.
Allegedly.
Should I also put my IoT devices on the same network as my server?
Yes, make sure you always put your IoT devices on the same network as every other piece of infrastructure that you use. Segmentation is kind of weird. Why would you segment your network? What were you doing? What are you trying to hide, huh? What are you hiding?
I'm gonna write that down and quote you. Reporter for
Perfect. Perfect. I'm getting quoted. Let's go. So I did a great job or a terrible job of explaining everything. I hope you all guys had a great time. So I'm back.
I'm just terrible at this.
Take us.
I had a thing with like where to find me, but I fucked that up. So